Hello.
Good morning, everyone.
The chat is blowing up already
It is blowing
for
up
episode
already.
63.
Whoop whoop.
Let's do shout outs really quick. Hopefully everybody had a Merry Christmas or non-denominational holiday or pagan rite of passage or etc.
However you celebrate, I hope you had a great holiday.
Creative Corlovis is here. Lou Balls. Aurelio Syracusa. Nice. Jana's here. Excellent, Jana. Thank you for coming.
I showed up. Nobody's ever more surprised than me.
Genomic Labs. Yeah, buddy, I just need to start putting the times in Central Standard Time because I have to set the StreamYard for my time, but then do the post in Eastern because I was like, oh yeah, everyone knows everything based on Eastern time, and then they subtract 1, 2, or 3. Mistakes. These are mistakes. Peter's here. He's having fun. Who else is here? 905's here. What's up? Oh my gosh. What is he doing? And I think that's it. Maybe more.
Bullshit's here. Powerhouse is here. Lindsay's here. There's a bunch of people that just popped on.
Oh, Lord. Everyone's favorite whore.
I will.
What a beautiful guy. He gets around. Herb Collectors, hi. Morph Wizards, Marissa. Everybody's favorite Marshall Van Thorn.
Marshall.
Chris. My God, everybody's showing up.
Whoa. I think they think that they're going to get like a mini show.
Alex.
But it's not happening.
Oh my God, it's still happening.
Oh, right. Everybody's on holiday. That's why. Okay.
All right.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Thank you for coming. You've come to the worst not safe for work reptile podcast out there.
We actually got that in before we dropped
usually
any bad words.
Us, we suck.
Yeah.
Right. It's been funny hearing us referred to as like the Housewife podcast, which is okay.
What? Where? I have not seen that. BS on that. Pictures or no.
Sean's been saying it, and I'm like, yeah. I mean,
Sean Bradley's been calling us the Housewives. I'm divorced, motherfucker.
Right, but you're still a trad wife deep down inside, right?
A what wife?
A traditional wife. You just were ready to breed. And
I was.
That's what I'm saying. So it's
metamorphosized out of that.
Right, but you're still a trad wife in your heart.
No, I'm not ever again. That Jana is dead. I killed her.
But you still bred. The evidence
and then just
exists.
To make sure.
The evidence of your breeding.
Just a little.
Okay, but you still bred. And then made a home.
Lots of people can fucking breed and be like, oh shit, another kid.
You're a breeder, is what I'm saying. I'm a breeder too. Okay. I just accepted it. Look.
Shop's closed.
I know the breeding's over, but while it happened, the going was good.
Jessica did just call me a proven breeder. Holy F. Thank you, Andrew. I can't. I think I just need to go.
3 times too. Very mature.
God. Like really proven. Like I've increased my value on that. Damn. No.
You would sell so good on Morph Market. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. Whoa. Is that insider information? Did I say that on the podcast?
Which part? Breeding?
No, the religious part. The religious upbringing. Or maybe you can just tell.
I think you've said it a lot.
Oh, actually. I mean, I said religious. I don't think I said
so many
actual
words.
Religion. Yeah, but that's pretty deduced, I think. Yeah, barefoot, pregnant, making pie, actually. But muffins are good too. Hi, Leviathan. Can I just take it? Can I just take a minute?
I mean, you can talk about their win now. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Yes. I just wanted to give a hearty congratulations. Leviathan knocked it out of the park. Their video qualities were out of this world insane. They really leveled up the competition. For all of you who are going to be participating this year, you're really going to have to learn yourself some marketing shit and get some top-notch equipment if you
They'll
even
get
want
Premiere
to.
Pro.
Yes, if you
and
even want
hire
to
a
compete
videographer.
at all. Or you could just hire Leviathan to produce all your shit, because there was just literally no competing with that. Very well earned. I think it's phenomenal. They won. They should have won. The quality that they put out, I mean, had us all rolling for a month. So just congratulations. Their episode comes out with Chris Eaton on the 1st. So we'll all be tuning in to congratulate and watch that and see who they picked for 15 minutes. But like I said, if you're going to be on 15 minutes this year, guys, just be ready because the competition is going to be insane, I think.
Marshall says you got robbed.
It feels a little like I got robbed, but we all know the truth and their video quality. Like I have zero experience making videos. So there was just no way I was going to be able to compete with that. But you can't say that I didn't show up and work my ass off and give it, the good college try. But I just didn't have the level of technological experience needed to compete at the level that they were competing at. And so, it stings a little to be second place, but let's all just try to keep the positivity because that's what this contest has been about. It's about laughing and fun and positivity. Let's keep it that way. If you wanted me to win and you supported me, I mean, there's so many of you out there, you know who you are, voted for me every single day, encouraged me, are bummed that I lost just as much as I'm bummed. But let's just, have our good sportsmanship faces on and be positive, encouraging in what we're putting out there because the hobby needs more of that everywhere. And so, sincerely, congratulations. I was so happy to be a part of it. It was a fun ride and, the winners spoke for themselves. And I think that it was well earned and well deserved. And, also I have a good friend in Courtney and Steven, and I'm really grateful for that. So the contest is over, everybody. I love you all for your love and support. And even if you didn't vote for me, even if you voted Team Purple, thanks for participating in the contest. I look forward to seeing next year's contest. I'm definitely going to be watching it with bated breath. But let's all just move forward and be positive and congratulatory to them and, not pour salt in the wounds or lick our wounds or be negative. This hobby needs that positivity, and this hobby needs us all to rally together. And it would serve no purpose if I was a sore loser. Let's just all move on. And they did a phenomenal job. And I look forward to continuing to be friends with them.
Mm-hmm. What was your favorite reel that they did? Just to shout out something.
Oh, that's so hard. My favorite reel was probably when they kidnapped Shane and Chris Eaton. And Chris Eaton was like, I'm going to die in motherfucking Tennessee. I mean, that was the line of the contest. It was great. I mean, they put out so many, it's really hard to choose, but that one just literally had me peeing my pants. It was so funny. And so, I mean, I look forward to if he does the same thing this year and they're a judge, I look forward to seeing a judge put out content in regards to the competition, because I just really think that Courtney and Steven's sense of humor is going to be epic if they're allowed to put out video and content for the next contest.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to watch.
It was great to watch. It was great to participate
everything that happened.
Funny. The hobby needed it. And
Eyebrow Coon. He took one for the team. I think that's what pushed him over the top.
Who?
His eyebrow, his left eyebrow.
Oh, his left eyebrow. The commitment,
I told you to shave both your eyebrows and go
happening.
Super Saiyan 3. It would have been awesome.
I still would have lost though.
Yeah, probably. But you could have still drawn on eyebrows for a little bit.
Sorry, I'm not that committed. I'd rather get a tattoo of Snakes and the Fat Man on my ass than shave my eyebrows.
Really? Eyebrows come back. Tattoos never go away. All right. Well, I'm glad it was good. Let's talk about upcoming reptile shows, since technically we do that. I'm doing Herp Shawnee on the 14th and 15th, and on the same weekend you're doing
Northwest Reptile Show in Portland. It's just a one-day show, a Saturday show on the 14th.
And then
Pac Northwest in Puyallup. A lot of my local people will also be there. Powerhouse Pythons, Stone Age. Just a lot of people in the comments will also be there. If you are local-ish, come out and say hi. Say you listen to the podcast. It'd be great to meet you. Just come out and have a good time.
All right. We still have a sponsor.
We do still have a sponsor, even though he fucking stabbed me in the back.
Oh my God. Now you have to give context to that statement.
Oh, motherfucker. I don't need context. If you don't know, where have you been? Under a rock? Shane Kelley, you wound me. You wound me.
Let's look at some of Shane's stuff for sale. He went to the show. It was good. He did a video about sort of a condensed version of how much he made. And this is some of the stuff that made it to Morph Market. Jana, what do you want to buy? Just pick something random if you don't really want to buy it. I like this white and yellow Fireball tank cross. Seems pretty fun. What do you think?
I think I still want to just knock him out and rob his full back rack. Because even that clown is very Blade clowny, and we know Jana doesn't want any of that shit in her G-Stripe projects. So, that Hoggy. I don't know. I probably would buy that Hoggy.
Okay, Jana's buying the hog. I'll buy the Fireball tank, white and yellow. Excellent. Thank you, Shane. Check him out on Morph Market.
Thank you, Shane.
Instagram, YouTube. He's back to making YouTube videos again, which is awesome.
Very awesome. And for anybody that needs to hear it, Shane and I are fine, and he does not need to explain his vote. It's all in good fun. We still love you, Shane.
Maybe that vote was under duress because he was.
No, I think he gave his real vote, and I don't think that needs explanation. I think he did his job as a judge, and even though it didn't land my way, Shane and I are fine. Totally fine.
BNS Reptilia says Oaks is also on the 14th, which a lot of YouTuber ball python people go there. So if you're local to Pennsylvania or West Virginia, Maryland, wherever, go to Oaks too. It's coming. The time for buying of snakes is coming.
It's coming.
All right. Is that it for like warm up? I don't know what else we're doing. And then we'll get into the old numberinos.
I think that's good. I think we covered everything.
Yes. Okay. Okay, it's going to be really boring, everybody. So you might want to leave now.
There's going to be a whole lot of fucking word soup, people. So
oh,
buckle
God.
up.
Get together. All right, so here's what I did. I went back in time. I recorded every single sale of the category of morph that occurred and was marked as sold. And you're like, Jessica, you're full of shit. Yes, I am. I understand like this is like a problematic thesis because snakes get sold on Facebook, snakes get sold at shows.
No, I'm just impressed that you did all that because I was just having fun this week. I was definitely not working.
Snakes get sold, marked as sold under one price, but they were negotiated to a lower price privately.
Correct.
So I understand all those complications, but this is the data we have to work. Look, there he is in the wild.
Libby, hello.
Yeah, and I didn't make this idea up. The first time I saw this was Xotics, who did crescent geckos, and then Sarah Moore, who did corn snakes. But nobody went back in time quite as far, nor typed as many numbers as me. So
there are some people that are just here for the spreadsheets. More power to you.
Oh God, it's so boring. Okay, so this is all the clowns, single gene clowns, both male and female, that have ever been sold on Morph Market. I did exclude.
Can we zoom into the graph? Because
whenever I get there. Hold on.
Sorry, guys.
Hold on. So I don't want to reveal the moment.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm excluding animals that were older than 1.9 years old. So most ball pythons, it turns out, I learned this, don't sell in the year that they're born. They usually sell the next spring anyway.
Tax returns.
Right. So they might be 6 months old because they were born in October or something. And they're still a baby in my book, but they're not sold the year they're born. So I couldn't sort them by like year they're born. It has to be year they were sold. But if they like age up into sub-adult class, which I identify as 1.9 years old or older, they're a proven breeder. And if you're a female, you become more expensive. And if you're male, you're the same price. But they're just automatically excluded from this calculation. Also eliminated mis-ID'd animals and animals that were, POS, het, whatever, because even though everybody says they don't price them differently, it turns out statistically you all do. So I had to exclude them from the analysis. And then sometimes people would put stuff as pairs even a long time ago. So obviously those were excluded also. Okay. So what do you think Clown did in the last 7 years? I know you can't, and I know no one can read this, so
that's no, I can't even read it, guys. So I'm not cheating. I think that it has slowly gone down.
You're correct.
Okay, I was gonna say it probably bumped up in the 2020. Oh, it didn't. 2021 is when it peaked.
So this is 2015. Red's female, blue's male. It's been a slow decline into. I did split out pre-COVID and then 2022 pre-recession, which I identified as August 1st. You can argue with that. So there's a COVID bump, but it's not as big as I think people thought it would have been. It's actually not statistically different from year to year. I did do the t-test on it.
For those of us in the back, what's that?
A two-tailed t-test determines if like the probability that difference is just due to like randomness or an actual effect. So if you look at the whole thing, it looks like something's happening, but it's so minor and there's so much variation in the standard deviation of female price, particularly, it actually becomes not so significantly different for Clown. There are other tests that it was significantly different, but you can, because there's thousands of clowns sold, this one best mimics, the market sentiment to me. If there's only 10 ever sold, you can't like get a good feel for how people are feeling. But there's a dip and then a rise and then a small dip at the end. But current Clown prices are the same as like pre-COVID prices. So it's not worse. It's back to normal. We're in the back to normal phase, everybody. Were you just going to say something?
I was just going to say, it looks like it's going to level out about where it is right now.
It's literally, this is pre-COVID 2020, and this is 2019. So it's almost the same. The male Clown price has dropped a little bit, but it's not significantly different than pre-2020. All right. And then this is Clown in a yearly. So I didn't bump out those like small chunks of time. And it looks the same. It's just a little bit smoother. So it's not like COVID like changed our lives, right? Whoa. It is a significantly different prices, all clowns in these 3 years versus these 2 years, but it's not like orders of magnitude. And then obviously inflation was a thing. So I did adjust certain numbers for inflation just to check. It just means clowns were more expensive relative to $22 in 2015 than they are now. So the drop is a higher percentage when adjusted for inflation.
We all just take a moment to appreciate how fucking cool Jessica is with all this shit.
It just took
adjusted for inflation, like.
Right. Well, we've done.
I'm not joking here. This is not sarcasm, people. I am sincerely impressed. This is fucking cool.
Thank you. Well, we've done more quantitative easing in the last 2 years than ever.
But you have to understand that if you came into the hobby as a baby boomer, you're just seeing the last 2 points on the graph, and that's why a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, everything's on fire!"
Right, but it's actually like pretty good.
It's fine. Everything's fine, guys. We're good.
Yeah, I'm actually like impressed by how stable the prices are actually in total.
Oh, Sean would like to take credit for inspiring this episode. Is there truth to that, Jessica?
Sean inspires me every day.
Oh, thank you, Sean. Half credit.
I like thinking about what Sean says. I'm gonna put it that way. I don't know if I always like perfectly agree with him, but I don't think anybody has to perfectly agree with anybody. but I think he thinks about things in a way that makes me think about it, and I appreciate that because it's not like I need more
Wait, so
thinking.
is there any truth to the rumors that you guys are going to be hooking up for ABCs?
Yeah, yes, but I don't know if it's a rumor because it's just been announced.
Okay. I'm looking forward to that personally. I think it's really fun to listen to the two of you riff off each other because I understand like 10% of it. You guys really challenged my brain, but I love it.
It was what do you mean it was a question?
He was asking if he inspired, and I made it sound like he was claiming rights, and he would just like to set the record straight that he wasn't being an arrogant guy about it. I was just making him sound that way.
Yes. Yes. I mean, nobody at the top, people at the top, no offense, people at the top, please, Lord Jesus, like, they don't want to talk about specifics because they think that will hurt the whole industry. But I think talking about specifics doesn't hurt the whole industry. Like, if a project is like tanking a little bit, that's okay. People might get more excited about it because it's like a cheaper commodity relative to its value. Like, people need to get excited about hats, okay? They are way underpriced relative to their value. So if I can encourage people to be like, look, a hat is for some reason way undervalued. Maybe they'll buy hats.
Time to buy. Yeah, exactly. And that's another reason why you shouldn't be chasing the latest trend. You should be working on your projects. And if you're tapped into the market and watching these trends, you'll know when to buy if you have the power to buy at this time. You can watch those things that you are working on and have lists of things that you're wanting to purchase. And if you're watching the trends and something's going down and it's going to be a positive in your collection long term, that means buy, people. That doesn't mean it's all burning down. That means, yes, I should get into that, not, oh, this is the most expensive thing happening right now, I got to buy in. You need to be looking at it the other way, in my opinion.
It's or just looking at anything from any angle that's different than maybe other people are looking at it, because that's how you would find maybe value. Even a morph that nobody likes anymore, obviously you can find value. All right, here's everybody. Most people guessed it correctly. It was Desert Ghost. Can
we make it big?
Yes, let's do this one first.
Okay.
So it was extraordinarily stable pre a certain event that we'll describe shortly. And it wasn't COVID that did it. It was a certain event. So these are the male-female prices. And this is one of the few morphs where males and females have been the exact same price for a year.
Yeah.
Because people were trying to buy a male to breed and make some hats, even while they weren't that expensive. So like that's interesting. And then the disparity happens later. But let's talk about when it happened. On September 16th, 2020, Justin Kabilka woke up and he chose.
So I'm going to blow this shit out of the water.
To fuck around and find out.
This is not the only thing he has done this with, people.
Well, this is the one where it's the most dramatic.
It's the most dramatic. But also, like, that's another reason why you should just have the shit you like in your collection, because one day Justin's going to make a video and blow your shit up.
Well, he didn't even make a video that like precipitated this event. He just chose to price it on September 16th for $1,000 when the previous price was an average of $500, which I did pool all 2020 females versus all post Justin's pricing event 2020, 2021, and 2022 females, and they were highly significantly more expensive. Like, this is a clear causation. It's at least correlation, but I think it's causation. But I don't think he was wrong. But this sort of like game theory of like, can you, if there's a low number of animals on the market, change the price by posting once?
If you're Canova,
yes.
If you have power and influence, and credibility, you absolutely can.
Correct. So
Justin Dax.
And I don't begrudge him at all. I'm just surprised more people can't do it successfully. It's probably just because they're not Justin, and people have tried, but that doesn't stick in the numbers. So more people should try. I think if there are a small number of very valuable animals, more people should try for high numbers and see if that can change the price. The problem
secret
is
gene meeting. You know, they have all those Facebook groups for specific morphs or recessives. We just need to pal up together, guys.
The problem is like the male price didn't match it. So like the males are still cheap. So they'll be able to make hets rapidly. And the hets will breed eventually. So
which is why we're seeing it drop off now, is because lots of people made het DG with their male.
Right. So the het price has gone down. But right now the female price is statistically different here, but not by a lot, because this one was overinflated by okay, so some people, so it's, you know, I said it's only 1.9 years. If you feed the dickens out of a female and you sell her second sunburn and she's big enough to like look like a subadult, she will sell for 30 or 40% more than a baby price. So is that a hack? I know some people don't like to feed their for sale stock, but you should if you have the room and the time.
Especially the females.
More expensive.
Yes.
Yeah, the males don't get more expensive, but the females 100% do.
Especially your breeder quality females. You should absolutely be feeding them like you would want your holdback to be fed, because all you're doing is adding value. You're not losing any money on that girl as she's growing up in your rack waiting to be sold with tax money, you know?
Mm-hmm. The only problem is like if you cannot store 20,000 gram females that are waiting to be sold, then there's a problem. But hopefully
buy more racks. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Is there any questions? Are we making sense? I haven't been watching questions.
Somebody requested to see the graph post Justin of the DG prices.
This graph?
Yeah.
So this one, because it's the x-axis is time, you can't like break out subcategories. So it has to be.
Well, can you zoom in on it? We'll zoom in on the point graph, not the bar graph.
Right, but there's no post Justin here.
I know, but let's just look. Let's just see it big.
Do you want to adjust it for inflation or not?
Yeah.
It's still significantly different, even adjusted for inflation. A lot of these things, like, so it went up and it went up despite inflation. Can you all see that? I'll go bigger.
Go bigger, go home. That's right. I mean, like, you can see where Justin got involved.
Well, he got involved in the middle of the year. It was still there was a post-COVID like thing happening here. It went up a little bit, but not double. Well,
he saw the trending up. He didn't just like pull a piece of paper out of a hat and say,
I think he did.
DG today. I think he noticed that it was trending up and he gave it a little Justin boost.
No. You want me to read you the exact sale prices before that? 450, 450, 450, 450, 400, 400, 550, 450, Canova, 1,000. There was no trend up. That's an average. That's why he just saw it was a valuable animal and he thought there was interest in it to support that price, which is totally fine. Right.
Somebody else said if there was correlating data, if that happened right around the time that the DG clown was produced.
The DG clown was produced before that.
That's what they're saying. Is that
before his price increase?
They're asking if he decided that after the DG clown.
I
don't know that either. If you're friends with Justin, let us know.
I think he's decided there weren't very many of them and they were selling very quickly. And so the $500 price point was not correct. Because if they're selling it like that and everybody's asking for them, they're mispriced for what they are.
There's supply and demand, basic marketing.
Right. So that's why, like, if something is selling very fast, most people just edge the price up. He boldly chose
doubled it
to go to see what the market would sustain, and he found it, and that price is stuck. The mean now DG female is still 1,100. You can find ones for 900 every once in a while, but the mean is still 900.
And you're talking about just straight normal guys. Yeah, she's not talking about any additional genes. She's not talking about any additional heads. This is a normal single visual desert ghost.
Right. If people like this, I can do other stuff and try to discern what's happened, but maybe every 2 or 3 months or something. I don't know.
I think that would be cool. Yeah.
Okay, GHI clown. I'm obviously I'm in it. Okay, I'm in it. and I'm sad. All right. So the female price has been pretty stable. Here's the female price, not adjusted for inflation. The male price has gone down, which is fine, but it just lost its mind in the last 9 months or something. So not during recession time. Here's the male GHI clown price, single gene, just GHI clown. Somebody woke up and was like $800 is the new floor. And that stuck. And it stuck so hard we've had a sale at $450. When it was pretty stable between 1,000 and
$450. Why didn't I buy that snake?
I don't know. And I did. So what I can't see is how much inventory was available when this sale happened. If there was 20 available and only one sold.
Yeah, there is no feature for that.
So they're obviously responding to the availability. And if there are a bunch available and none of them are selling, they'll price it at slightly lower and slightly lower and slightly lower. But I just don't. This happened back in May. So it's not a recession thing. This is just an availability.
Right. I think it would be badass if eventually this was a feature on Morph Market.
Did you hear his when John Layman was on Bullshit a long time ago?
Probably, but it's not something that stuck out. Why?
Because he talks about all the data mining that he plans on doing.
Right. No, I'm saying that he's kept all this data for a reason. It's really going to be cool to see if he eventually comes out with this kind of stuff, because it's all there in the history. And I'm sure he can see even more on his end than we can see, but there's quite a bit available. And that's really how we establish price in our industry, is we go through histories and stuff and current pricing and what's selling. And
right. But what I want from John is search history, not necessarily what they sold, because obviously we can all see that. But what did people type in that they want or that they're checking the prices of? That is much more powerful because that's what they want. So you could plan your projects around the desirability. He does have the availability of a morph on the Morphopedia graph. So you could sort of plan it if it's rare but highly searched, that would be a good one to pick. But some of that I think he wants to sell to the super. If it was me, I would sell it as an extra package. Here's the data analysis Morph Market package, $20 extra a month. You can get all of our charts and graphs of trending searches and whatever.
Yeah, there would be some really cool data available to sellers, or maybe a certain level of seller, a certain account, you can gain access to data. Would be, I would pay extra for that for sure. That's just gold right there, just sitting. It's just sitting unutilized. Give us the gold, please, John.
He might be busy dealing with people's dumb complaints, but that's what I'm assuming. Busy man, so he doesn't want to make the
constantly,
tool.
No, he's constantly giving us amazing things. That was not a complaint. I just untouched so far. And for those people that are saying, I mean, yes, Jessica is a brilliant mind, but she is not here to make you feel dumb. She is here.
Am I making people feel dumb? I'm sorry.
You're just so smart and so above a lot of what we're thinking about. Somebody to sit and conceptualize this and then to plot the data and to be able to bring this information out, drag it out of what we all have access to. But how many of us have done this? I think a little of us are feeling oh, why didn't I do that? But that's not her intention, guys. Her intention is to shed light on it and to bring us all under the umbrella of knowledge.
And I think you got to remember, you're a cool monkey with a meat machine brain. So you run this algorithm in your head every time you look at a snake. You're good price, bad price, kind of okay price. Oh,
right,
that's
you
a
do
new
it subconsciously,
price.
yes.
Right. I'm just trying to prove your subconscious feeling is correct with the actual data, because most people have a feeling, but I think people have too much feeling, oh, the market is so bad. It's actually not. It looks fine based on this. There is excess inventory, but the prices are still fine-ish. Mostly. They're 2019, 2018 prices. So that's fine to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, another thing that works so well with our dynamic, Jessica, is that you do bring this high level of understanding. And, I bring it's okay if you guys didn't think of this. It's okay if you didn't understand quite everything she was saying. I'm here to try to get you to explain it in a way that us regular folk over here can understand it. And I think that works really well. And this is an incredible insight, and I'm enjoying it very much. I think other people are as well.
All right, thank you. We'll do it more if people, and then people could like request too. All right, G-stripe, Jana's favorite.
Yay!
So G-stripe was one that, to me, responded to COVID specifically, and not a specific event, because the Kiki was introduced way back here, so it didn't respond here. The other thing is, like, first users of Morph Market were largely large breeders, so like the 2015 numbers are sparse and usually relatively high. But so the numbers later are a better reflection of the actual, sale price of the animal. But both male and female G-stripes had a significant difference when you pull pre and post COVID sale prices. So G-stripe won and was significant and went up for both categories because of COVID. Clown went down. So did G-stripe win? You decide. Adjusted for inflation, males went up 129%.
Whoa!
Like single gene G-stripe males.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Good job, G-stripe. You did great. You're a winner. All right, red stripe.
Well, hang on. You can't just skip right past my favorite gene, okay? Fuck you, motherfucker. So, in being in this project since the beginning,
you got in.
Since the minute I got in, yes, I've always been part of this project. And you
got in after it already started going up. Did you know that?
That's not entirely true, because when I started, let's see what your numbers say. When I started looking into G-stripes, you could find a proven breeder female G-stripe for $200. And then during COVID, a single gene G-stripe female breeder went up to like $1,000 or something insane like that.
Right, but you need to ignore adult females because those ones fluctuate wildly with perception, right? So that's why we're doing babies. But yes, but pre-COVID, all adult female G-stripes were $200. I looked at 20 or 30 listings of adult G-stripes that like Garrick DeMar was getting rid of for $200.
Yeah, why didn't Jessica put on a suit for the stonks? I mean,
I don't actually own a suit, and then I would look like a super lesbian at that point, which I already am.
You look a little butch with the suit on, but I'm here for it. Yes, please. I need to one day see this with the bow tie, and I could come in like a wedding dress, and we could just make the whole thing.
You sucked up a lot of the available inventory early 2020 of adult females that people thought were still worthless. Yucky, and then eventually they decided they weren't yucky because the female baby price rose to match the demand.
I got into it, and then it went whoosh, and I was like, all right, well, that's cool.
Right.
I'm not going to get any more.
It's still looking fine. Like I didn't do G-stripe combos yet.
Right. We're only looking at normals.
And they're still cheaper than clowns, but they did go up.
It's okay, Jessica. You don't have to be in the closet. It's 2022.
Hey, I bred a human.
She is happily married, people. And irrespective of what she decides her sexuality is at any given moment, she is a happily married woman to a man. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you do need to come out, we're all here for it. It's cool.
I feel like I'm a top no matter what. And the world is my bottom.
Oh, okay. Whoa. Wow. That guy.
Is that lesbian?
I don't know.
All right. Very specific.
I think I'm going to need a cigarette after that.
All right. Red stripe. Yeah. Everybody like accuses Justin of like, making red stripe a worthless gene to a priceless gene or a price value gene. Well, he kind of did, but not as much as I think people think he did. So when he made the magma hets, that's so early, it didn't even make it to Morph Market, the first set of magma hets. And when he made the first visual magmas, I don't think those made it to Morph Market either. So all I have is like the single gene red stripes and red stripe head clowns. So the first Pompeii reveal video, everyone guessed it was red stripe because he told them it was in the magma project. He didn't tell them all the ingredients, but they knew red stripe. So there was a significant difference. Oh, I know. So females were not significantly different between the Pompeii reveal video pre and post. And then the ingredient reveal video, which was February 5th, 2019, where he actually like listed all the component parts officially, which is like 8 or 9 months later, was also not significantly different. So there was like a price increase, but was not significantly different. So Justin statistically did not change the red stripe market for single gene red stripes.
Can you zoom in on that real quick? And then can you point out on the graph where he released the video-ish?
Yes. So this is 2018 before the release of the first video.
Okay.
After the second release of the first video. 2019, there were no sales before the ingredient reveal video. So all of these are post reveal video.
Okay.
So it does look like it goes up, but the variance over here and the lack of numbers gives no statistical power. So
correct.
If there was enough, maybe there'd be a significant difference. But
so if you didn't understand that, she's saying that there wasn't enough data pre the spike on the graph. So it doesn't really equate to what you're seeing on the graph. Like it's not that dramatic because there just wasn't very much red stripe out there.
Right. So, but maybe what happens is any red stripe inventory that existed was snapped up right away because they were just interested. But that was at the price of pre the video, right? So once people figured out they should make more, then there's a small price increase, but it's lagging and the relative difference wasn't that strong. So I was like, maybe the relationship is stronger for Het Clown because then they could make Magma and Pompeii combos much faster. It was also not significantly different post ingredient reveal or the Pompeii reveal video. It was actually more expensive and went down. It never had a bump. So Justin did not significantly change the red stripe Het Clown market with those videos.
Where's the video?
On YouTube.
No, on the graph.
So the first video was 2018. So all sales were post that. And the second video, this is 2019 before that video, and this is after the reveal. So it actually went down after the reveal of the contents. But I think people already guessed red stripe was in it because he told them it's a magma. So any influence happened here, but it still just mostly went down.
Yeah, and see, I think this is where how many were on the market would be significant information to affect the graph because we're seeing this. It
wasn't that many though. I mean, there was very few, and then it was more.
I'm just saying, like after it went way up and then it drops back down, is that because people flooded the market because they were trying to get onto make some money off of selling their red stripes?
I mean, it's not really flooding because there weren't that many to begin with, and there weren't that many sold later. I'm talking. I mean, here's the numbers. 10, a couple, and then 10, and then 12, and then a couple, and then 15.
And remember, people, that these
it's not that many.
These are hatchling numbers, and these are morph market numbers. These are not what's being sold in the DMs and what's being sold on Facebook or secret handshakes. This is just the data that's on morph market that's available to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would assume all those prices are lower because they're like, the buddy price point. All right. So a lot of people at the time of the reveal of the ingredients did not guess black pastel. And some people did, but most people thought it was some other darkening gene or something else, fire or something. And so when he revealed the ingredients, the surprise was black pastel.
Somebody just asked if you could do a black pastel. Look at guys, she anticipated that. And it's right here. Go ahead and blow that up for everybody.
So I assume black pastel got a bump post ingredient reveal. And the ingredient reveal, there was no...
Jessica, would you be willing to link this data in the show notes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
it's not like organized very well, but
your private DM, people are asking if they could have it made available.
So before I blow the thing up, the pre and post ingredient reveal female price was not significantly different. So he did not change it, but the pre and post COVID price dropped 0.029. So it was significant. So the effect on black pastel het clown is that Justin didn't do anything and COVID hurt it.
Okay.
This is aggregate post-COVID. So it looks like there's like a little bump in 2021, but it's not, this isn't significantly different. This isn't significantly different. And you're like, maybe 22 females, but if you aggregate all post-COVID and all pre-COVID, it's a significant drop. And some chuckle fucks, some smooth-brained motherfuckers have been selling female black pastel het clowns for $100.
I have seen that. It's because everybody started trying to make them because they thought they were going to blow up. So everybody with a fucking black pastel thought, I'm going to make het clowns and I'm going to roll it in. And then they tank the market. This is why you shouldn't follow the trends, people.
What I'm saying is don't sell that animal on morph market. Wholesale it as a normal because $100 does tank the market.
Yes.
Like, so obviously this is like an inventory problem. There's too many female black pastel het clowns.
Yeah,
just don't even sell it.
Clown.
Just wholesale it as a normal black pastel for $40 or sell it at a show for $125 because now the evidence is in that nobody cares. But I did like double check black pastel clowns. Their prices are stable. Like this is the disparity between hets and visuals. Visual black pastel clown price for females is great. Okay, it's great. Why are we selling hets for $100 when the females still go on average for more than $1,000? That doesn't make any sense. Hets should be maybe a half to a third of the price of the visual for a female.
I agree.
To me. So if you can't, you need to move the inventory and you're desperate, wholesale it just so that it's not just like more shit dragging the market down. Please, Jesus, help me, baby Jesus.
Reagan Renee Morel Python says, if anything, just feed that for a year and then sell it at a significantly better price, but don't sell it at $100. Or if you really need that $100, wholesale it or sell it at your local show as just a black pastel.
Right, because a female black pastel show could probably go for $100 if
depending on your
market. It's a pet and give them a $20 discount or whatever. But like, make the sale make sense. Selling it for $100 when they're het clown is crazy town to me. Based on the clown prices, males are still doing fine. It's the flattest clown I looked at. Please help me, Jesus. All right, puzzle, last one. Oh, I didn't generate a graph. What a bitch. Well,
fired.
I thought I did.
You have to take it to another app thing to do it, so you can't just magically do it, can you? Oh, look, she can.
I think it deleted. All right. Wow. Clown is a puzzle. Puzzle's a great investment. It is flat as fuck. All right. The thing didn't load out right. I don't know what happened. Oh, yeah. I never copied it. Never mind. Whatever. The point is, the price is actually like extremely stable. So buy puzzle today, everybody. I can't believe I didn't generate that one. It's extremely stable. It did go down a little bit from like 7 years, but the amount is negligible to me. So everyone should buy puzzle. That's the end of my story.
Can I just say that there are 63 motherfuckers watching us right now? Is that a record?
I don't know.
I think it's a record. Hello to all of you. Drop a comment, hit the like. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate your support.
I'll generate that puzzle graph. I must have like fallen asleep doing it.
I mean, after all those numbers, people, I would have been asleep. So just be grateful for what you got, because I'm not doing that for you.
The hardest part was clown. Like I thought about doing pied too, but there's 4,000 or 5,000 pied numbers, which is a lot, in case you're wondering. Okay, we did it. Anybody have any questions? I was like not paying attention, but I'd be happy to do other ones, especially like when there's a story around it, like someone revealed a video and we can test if the video actually made a difference. Because like I always assumed that Red Stripe shot through the moon the second Justin did the
That's how people tell the story too.
Right,
Yeah.
it didn't really.
And they're like, oh, I had all this red stripe in my thing, and all of a sudden Justin sold it all for me. Or like somebody gave him a heads up that Justin was going to be doing it. And those people were like, oh, wow. And Justin didn't have any inventory to sell because he was keeping all his stuff. So all the people that did have inventory were like, yes. But apparently it wasn't that many.
Yeah, but they just had like 2. And they're like, the video went out, I sold my 2. And I sold them for the price they were listed before the video. So like the effect is like the inventory moved, not
not a great price change. Right. Oh, interesting. Okay.
I didn't know that either. Now I know. Now we all know together.
Now we know together. That's fascinating. Thank you so much for putting that together.
All right. What's up, everybody? I think Sean kindly put a link on Facebook. Did I see that? And so some of his friends are coming. Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. Friends of bullshit. Welcome to the holdback rack, which is not bullshit.
No,
but also very exciting.
Peter asks, what are the most sold products of the last decade? I think the problem with that is like without the data from Morph Market, we're just guessing. So a lot of people say like the colorful stuff sells well, but I think we would be surprised if we had the raw data in terms of numbers.
He's asking if you're willing to do one regarding that, I think.
On Morph Market?
From Morph Market data.
I would, just based on what I've seen, just banana, single gene banana has sold the most individual number of animals.
I would have to agree with you.
I almost did banana too, and I'm like, because banana like came in 2015 at like 450, settled down to 125, then like every spring rises slightly with like the lack of inventory, and then dips back down into like the low hundreds every fall. So like that's like something I could show. But there's literally like 5,000 or 6,000 of them or whatever, single gene bananas. Oh yeah, one last thing before we move on. If y'all want to have a good time, you need to go into the Wayback Machine and look at old kingsnake.com classifieds.
The Wayback Machine.
So you can actually see what was posted on that particular day on the kingsnake, ball python, or boa classifieds. Because that's hard without Morph Market. And I thought about like taking screenshots. There's some funny stuff, but there's not enough data to like extract something super valuable. So it's more for browsing and pleasure of what the prices were, how early weird stuff was there and was like $200, like extremely early, and how certain things fell and then waived. So if you need fun and you want to reminisce about the good old days, you want to turn all of your links purple, which used to be my ambition. Go to the Wayback Machine time.
Turn them all purple. Whee! Adrian is asking if you do business analysis for pythons.
You mean like for
I don't know what
money?
He means. I don't know. I think so.
I'll do it to be nice because I'm a nice person, but I'm not qualified to do anything.
That's not true. Get in now is what she's saying before she smartens up and starts.
I mean, if you want to ask me questions about my opinion, you can send me a question and I'll just answer it. But I don't. Right?
Or we'll maybe do one of these once a quarter and you guys can submit what you want her to analyze.
Right. I'd love to like check back in on whatever, like if this is a recession. If it just looks like 2019 again, then we'll have proof that it's fine.
That the market's just correcting itself back to where it was before all the fake inflation.
Yeah. And even COVID didn't help every morph too. So it wasn't across the board. So I'm surprised how many things were hurt too. So it's very...
Oh, it's his first time tuning in. So he didn't know if this was a regular segment that you
did. Yeah. I mean, sorry, but...
It's the first time. Sorry, we didn't know it was your first time either. No, it's her first time doing this. And we're talking about making it a regular thing, like quarterly.
For fun. And then I want to do boas too because they're weird also. And
Andrew says, I'd love to see Jessica in a job interview. I'm just not qualified for anything, guys.
They don't allow me out in public actually, so it would never happen.
And then Lisa says, welcome to Jessica's class, Adrian.
Thank you. All right. So that is the end of the boring graph part. We're just talking about like goals, 2023 goals, and just having fun chatting with everybody. Hey, look, Billy's here. What's up,
Hi,
bud?
Billy.
You missed all the boring stuff.
You missed the graphs. Oh, I think you would have actually enjoyed that.
And I'd love to do like white lips too, but I don't know if there's enough data on Morph Market for white lips.
I want a white lips so bad. I just don't know if I have enough experience yet.
Because a lot of like the rare stuff did have a precipitous COVID price increase, like Argentines and stuff, and they're like settling down now. But you need data that's searchable, and fauna is tough to search through. You know, I mean, you've been there, you've seen it.
905 Reptiles says, I ask all the time, but is it really a recession or just fear mongering to scare people away from the breeding for a while? Can I answer first?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can correct me. So, markets go up and down. That's normal. The fear mongering, I don't think is really to scare people away. I think what we're seeing is the COVID baby boomers saturating the market, causing a natural oversupply. So therefore demand goes down and prices go down. And when those people say, oh no, and they leave because they think that it's broken because they don't understand how markets work, and they don't understand what Jessica just said is that we're just returning to, pre-COVID prices. They scare themselves. They fearmonger themselves and think I was sold a bag of lies about this industry and I'm getting out, and then they're going to get out. And so there's naturally going to be less bullshit being produced. And those of us that stick around are going to continue to improve our quality, and we're going to make smarter pairings. And especially in the next few years, you're not just going to breed everything you have. You're going to breed everything you want to breed for the projects you have. And that's going to create a natural reduction in what's available. Therefore, the prices will stabilize. I'm not saying that they're going to go back to COVID prices. I think they're going to go back to pre-COVID prices, but the market is definitely not dead. The market is not imploding. The industry is fine, guys. Okay. That might be fear mongering, or that just might be people who haven't educated themselves, because us baby boomers don't have enough history in the hobby. And that's why we need to be looking to those who do. So if you're listening to
turning into a robot. Are you back?
Okay. If you're listening to people freak out that have only been in the hobby less than 5 years. So like if you were listening to me freak out about the market, tell those people to shut the fuck up. Stop listening to them. Get yourself a mentor who's been in the market at least, 10 years or more. And they're going to tell you, take a deep breath. Everything's fine. Just like Marshall, when he was on our show, everything's fine, guys, everything's fine. But the next couple of seasons, you might want to just be very selective about what you breed, be very intentional, and make sure you're producing things you want to hold back, not just producing for producing's sake, unless you have wholesalers in your pocket or you have ways to move the show fodders, or what we call it. Just be very intentional. But the market's not dead. The industry is not imploding. Everything is fine. Do you want to add to that, Jessica? Or tell me how I'm wrong?
There's a lot of stuff. Comments. I always got distracted. Yeah, I think it's fine. There is like more inventory now than there ever has been before. So that's new. So it just will take time to work through the inventory. I don't know if you've watched the Acorn Collective stuff. He's like Canadian silver fox.
Gotta love those silver foxes.
Mm-hmm. So those were nice to watch for that reason alone. Anyway, there is an inventory problem. So I'd love to see John release like what was the peak volume per quarter per year, and then when it dips down. So like that's something that's maybe new in some ways, but that just means people need to get out there and start putting snakes into pet people's hands. To me, why are they on Morph Market? $100 snakes, $200 snakes, $300 snakes. They don't even need to be. So like
almost 400 or 500 and under should not be there.
Yeah, it's not good.
I should be going to your local market or to a
wholesaler that you ship to. Give them to a pet store, whatever, because that's not the right place when shipping is $70 to $100 for a single hatchling ball python. To me, So, and I have some cheap stuff up there too, but they're going to a show. So like, it's just, there's a lot of that on there too. I don't know how many we would peel off if we just like subtracted all animals less than $200. I could probably
we could do
test
that really quickly and see. Type it in, Jessica. Do it. Jake Hole is here, the Ophidarium, and he said, "Love the analysis and effort put into this podcast. Thank you so much." Jake Hole is the one to watch this year for Snakes in the Fat Man contest. He's already got my vote. So,
is he doing it? Is he on the roster?
I have very little doubt that. Oh yeah, he's on the roster, but
I didn't know if they announced the
that
roster yet.
Oh, they haven't. I probably should not have shared that. I'm gonna get myself in trouble. But he's my pick for this year.
Okay. So. Antoine says the recession is self-inflicted, just like the people that thought it was toilet paper shortage panic for no reason. Yeah, there is a lot of that where people are like, I don't know what to do, and then they sell their black pastel het clown female for $100 or whatever. So like you could see that in the data, but then you got to hold at least until the next summer before starting to like slash prices insanely, because most snakes sell the next spring, January, spring, summer anyway, in the best of times, even during COVID times. Like 50% of your collection is probably, if your inventory holds over to the next calendar year, it's okay. It's okay. You can do some deals or something before the Christmas shipping block, but just expect stuff to not fly off your rack until you need a holding time for your inventory. And I think most people get that, but I don't think new people get that.
Mutation creation. Oh my gosh, toilet paper. I better stock up. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah, Antoine, looking out for our toilet paper needs.
There's definitely a lot of other snakes that have problems. Corn snakes almost have the worst problem, Alex.
That's what's making me hesitate to get into it.
You just have to be like, I'm going to sell it by the means which I want to sell it. There's still a margin there, even though the price is lower, but it's not, a snake that no one wants to buy or whatever. Everyone still wants a $40 corn snake. It's just whether they want to spend $80 or $40. So like, is that worth it? Maybe.
Beast morphs. Don't buy cheap animals expecting to make expensive animals. Jessica had to teach me this lesson. Like, she sort of has mentored me through this, and I love a good deal. I won't lie. I'm like, yeah, it's cheap. And she's like, but is it something you want? Does it look good? Yes, it's 10 times cheaper. But she's like, if you didn't buy the next really cheap deal animals, you could buy one really fucking amazing animals. And it's taken me a little bit to learn that. Even though like intellectually I know that, because I just love a good deal, but you really have to stop and physically look at the quality of the animal. And I think that that's something that this oversaturation and this economic recession is going to do to the ball python industry, is something that's been needing to happen for the last 3 or 4 years, is quality over quantity. And I think that we kind of got into as an industry, we got into the mindset of make more het DGs, make more, this. And we stopped looking at the animals and the quality. We're just like, yep, it has both hets. We're good. I mean, we weren't looking at the best example of that double het. We're just like, yes, I have a double het in my rack.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this recession is going to make people pause and look at the animals and make sure that they're breeding something of extreme quality that they want, because you won't be able to do 10 het DG pairings or 10, you want to be really intentional about what you're breeding. And I think that that's good for the industry.
I still think, and this is just a me thing, that everyone who breeds ball python should breed one species that requires selective breeding to be good. 2, because that will force your eye to think about ball pythons the same way. Even if the market doesn't respect that price difference, you will still have an eye difference. So we breed leopard geckos, breed corn snakes, breed boas, breed something that has a strong selective breeding process, and you will reform your brain to think about minor differences and affecting the final disposition of the animal. You will sell animals that are the perfect genes because they aren't the perfect look for those genes, to buy the ones that are the perfect look. That sort of mindset, I think, would go a long way, I think. And also for personal enjoyment, because then relatively simple pairings become better to you, more valuable.
And you do have the option of, if you produce, say you're looking for, I'm G-stripe clown. If you sell all your G-stripe clowns that you make because you didn't produce one that you thought was what you were looking for, you can sell those and then buy from somebody who did, because what you're looking for isn't necessarily what someone else is looking for. Like, we've talked about this a lot. I'm looking for really high patterned clowns and G-stripes to do my Kiki project. And so if I produce something and I don't feel like it has what I want, there aren't people, not everybody's trying to do high pattern in Kikis. And so I could sell those and then use that money to buy what I am looking for. And so you can still be intentional without, what are you laughing
about? Sorry, read that, Jana.
Can I selectively breed a human female? Laugh out loud. Does that count, Jessica?
Yes, it does count, actually.
Always.
So, as long as you do a good job. What are we talking about?
You totally missed the breeder female talk at the beginning of the episode.
Right. I don't know.
I'm dying.
Need to focus on what I'm saying sometimes.
Oh, you don't even know what you just stepped in, Billy. Go back and watch the beginning later.
Highly fecund, that Jana King.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
I don't know. All right, let's do some goals because it's an hour in. If anybody has any questions, we're just like talking randomly. Now we're just having fun, so we can finish up.
Okay, I'm just pulling up the notes, people. I'm not ignoring you.
Apparently, Antoine got the old snipperino.
Good for you. Thank you. More men should do that. I need to go get burned and tied and dissected all the things.
We don't have 69 anymore. We have 68. Get it up to 69. And then if we get more, somebody needs to leave.
Well, I could log in.
I need 420 comments also.
Okay, hang on. So
if people want to message me privately, combos you want checked, you do that. I'll just make a list, and then if we get enough feelings together to make another set, we will check it in a couple months. Thank you.
So if you guys go back a year in time to this time last year, Jessica and I did a episode talking about our goals for the 2022 season. And for what we're about to talk about, we're going to like reviewing that podcast and commenting on whether or not we met our goals or blew our goals out of the water or changed our goals, and then what our goals are going to be for the following year. And so this is our personal collections. Mm-hmm. So sorry if this is boring, but you're getting it anyway.
I think it'll just be interesting to be like, oh, we were so
cute.
Right. We thought it was going to work out and it didn't. And that's fine. So I think like in terms of like helping people set their own goals and then resetting them and being okay with the fact that stuff didn't work out, I think is helpful. All right, Jana, did you reach all of your ball python dreams in 2022?
I did not. Did you reach all your ball python dreams?
No, I moved like an idiot.
I think that's going to affect my season this year. I didn't think it would, because I just like pushed my rack outside and into the shed, the new ball shed, and I thought they won't even notice. But I have 0 follicles across the board.
That she doesn't mean herself, though, everybody, by the way. She means
shops closed. I got 3 kids. I am over the legal limit here, guys. I am harming the planet at this point. Mm-hmm. We need no more little Janas running around.
So you don't have any follicles in any female of any age?
No follicles.
Motherfucker.
Any age.
Holy shit. I have some, and like some 15s and stuff that are like getting ready to start being paired.
Okay. Well, like 15 and under.
Yeah. Well, I just mean like they're getting ready to be paired. So that I'm only
totally
December.
Fine with that.
Most of my ovulations normally happen in like February,
I normally
March,
have like
April.
A pretty early year. I normally have girls that are like in their 30s right now.
Didn't you sell some?
I did sell like half my collection. And some of these girls are 2020s that didn't go last year at all. And so I have no idea when their cycle is. Mm-hmm. And I also normally feed really heavy from September to November. like I bump girls up to mediums, and I let them eat as much as they want, like weekly, as much as they want. And I did not do that this year. And I'm wondering if that played a part. So I am going to start feeding, because I was feeding every like 10 to 14 days. I'm going to start feeding every week again. And then see if I can get some more action. But I'm glad that my season's later because of how school's worked out and all that crap. And then I have that acid clown male that will be a year old in June. And so if I've pushed my season off, oh, boo-hoo, then I'll get to use my acid clown. Mm-hmm. So I'm really happy with that. So there are no tears.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's okay. Like, food cycling is a thing. So if they're a little later or a little earlier, I had females, going from one year to the next 8 months apart. So that means I probably overdid their food in the beginning, so I think it's fine. It's very healthy. What's happening here? Mutation Creation is showing off in the comments.
He probably already has like 50 clutches or something insane in his incubator. And then I just need to say, Lori Gray put out there that Roger got his vasectomy after their COVID surprise. Now, I know lots of people who have COVID babies, but they call theirs a COVID surprise, and that just kills me. I think that's great. I think everyone should be calling their COVID babies COVID surprise.
If you're home alone, bad.
No, I mean, it was a thing. It was like in the water because there was like not much else to do. So, I mean, like props to you on that. But COVID surprise needs to be like,
you guys need to market. Am I making that up?
I was born in September. That's correct.
You know what your parents were doing. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's. Yeah, I have a September baby. I know exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, the statistical probability of being born in September.
My number like 3 was literally conceived New Year's midnight-ish.
Champagne. It gets the girls every time. It's
and the
crazy.
Fireworks. It was actually the fireworks for me. They give me every time.
All right, let's move on. Okay, so you had some stuff not prove out. I'm trying to go down to your notes for ball pythons. We're still on ball pythons.
Oh, let's yeah.
Do like what proved or didn't prove.
So I wanted to prove, I bought a big collection and there was a couple of het clowns and het pieds, which this was pre the release of genetic testing. And I didn't feel comfortable because I didn't produce them, selling them as such. I wanted to prove them out first. And one didn't go at all. So that one I haven't proved out. And then all the rest went and only one of them proved out. So I'm really glad that I didn't sell them as what I bought them as. So I just have like a bunch of normals, which is fine.
So sorry.
I didn't like pay really for them. I really paid for like the 3 nicest snakes, and the other like 25 snakes in the collection were basically free. So I'm not like angry about it or anything, but I'm just really glad that I didn't sell them as what they were listed, because that I feel like
that would have been terrible.
Would have been terrible, and it would have smeared my good unknown name. And so I'm just really glad that I kept them, and now that I can just sell them as normals. But that was a little disappointing because that turned into a lot of show fodder clutches. That is a lot of mouths to feed when you're disappointed with the results.
How much inventory do you still have? Just curious, like 40%, 30%, 100%. You've obviously done multiple babies? Shows. Yeah, just like your inventory left.
I put how many babies I had. I had 138 babies produced this year, and I probably have 60, including my holdbacks. So that's like half.
It's pretty good. I think you should be happy.
I'm really happy. No, I'm not at all upset.
That much inventory has moved. And
well, a bunch of that hasn't aged. Like there wasn't a show that they were appropriately fed to go to. So like my last 4 clutches, January shows will be the first one that they were eligible for anyway. And so I'm extremely happy with that. And then like 15-ish are holdbacks, which is a lot less holdbacks than I wanted to keep this year. But like I said, a lot of stuff didn't prove out, or the things that I wanted to go didn't produce females, or they slugged out, or I mean, my dreams did not come true. None of my enhancer stuff went, which is fine. One I got late in the game, and so I just figured she wasn't going to go because I bought her in like November or something. And so then she didn't go that season. which is not unexpected because she couldn't even be bred till she was out of quarantine. Anyway, and then my other one was a 2020, so it was a crapshoot anyway. But I'm hoping they both go this season. So I really think that as soon as I can get girls moving this season, that this is really going to be my season to shine, and that last season will be a distant memory of learning experiences.
So, Limey asked you how many eggs you bred to prove those heads not proving out in those females. Because he said it took 32 eggs to prove a head on a female once.
Oh, well.
Like 8 eggs, like a one clutch?
It was one clutch each. I only bred them one season. And they each had 6 to 8 eggs. And they were bred to visuals, and they produced no visuals. So technically they still could be, and I can have them genetic tested. But for me, they are literally like a het pied or a het clown with no other genes. So for me, I'm okay putting those up at a show as a normal.
Like, you're turning into a robot. Pretty awesome.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't have my hard link like at home. I'm out of state right now, so I apologize for the robots. But yeah, so I'm just gonna sell those as normals. But you're correct. If
you don't want to genetically test them, or do you think it's a waste of $60?
It's a waste of $60 for me because of where the market's at right now. Even like a het clown female. I mean, how much is that?
I don't know.
No, I mean, I'm just
$500 if you can sell it, you know, maybe 400, 300.
Right. So I'm like I said, I just going to sell them and move on because I've been feeding them for a year when I didn't need them in my collection anyway. So at this point, I'm just going to cut my losses because I'm still ahead.
I have a question. Would you rebuy large collections again based on everything you learned? Like, you bought stuff that was cheaper, but you also like got stuff you were saddled with that you had to test breed. Some of the test breedings didn't work out. There was maybe some disease concerns, mites concerns. Do you think it's worth it for you personally to buy another large collection again?
I wouldn't do it again. But
like collections may be coming up cheap.
Collections may be coming up cheap.
Or
I don't disparage other people from doing it. I just don't have the raw dough to do it. And there's a lot of factors, and I don't have the time to do it. If you have the time and the setup and the biosecurity to handle it, and it can make a lot of sense. You can get really good stuff. All the ones that I have bought, I don't regret buying. I have come out very much ahead in every single collection that I've bought. Like, I have a visual pastel clown pied female that I got in a collection of like 12. And I paid less than what she was valued at the time. Now she's 1,500 grams. At the time, she was like 600 grams. And I paid less than what she was worth for the entire collection. And I sold almost everything else in that collection, remade my money that I bought the collection for, plus some. And then I also now have a breeder female clown pied that I basically didn't pay anything for, who's worth like 700 or 7,500. And so it's like, how is that a bad idea?
Well, they could have all come in with Nido or whatever. Like every single
right.
could have had
Nido. You're correct.
Right. I'm just giving you the devil's advocate position.
I know you always got to do that. You always got to shit on my parade, man.
They didn't though, and I think when we talked about this privately, I told you like the probability that they all have something is low.
Right.
Because even in a collection where there's Nido is not that great at snagging everybody in the collection unless you're really rubbing the snakes together in a tub.
So I did buy that other big collection, the ones that had heads that didn't prove out. And it was like, I want to say 35 snakes, but they came with their racks. They came like completely set up so I could put them. They went out into my sunroom where nothing else was. I could test them all. I could feed them separately. They had their own like bubble, their own. They were nowhere near my stuff. So I could treat them proactively for mites, even though they didn't have any. I could test them all. I did get some positives, and I talked to the previous owner and got anybody else that was in that breed group. And we retested those in 3 months. And then I sold most of it, but I paid for that whole collection what one because I got a couple of breeder clowns out of that. I bought the whole collection for the price at the time of what a breeder clown was. And so literally I made all my money back on that.
And you paid for testing out of the sale.
And I paid for testing.
Right. I think that's the point I'm trying to make is you can do it, but when people do it correctly, in order to not make a big problem, it should be testing because you don't know what's been going on in that collection, but you can still be profitable while building in the certainty of testing.
Right. Certain people who have the time and the money and the space can really win in this situation that the market is currently in when whole collections come up for sale, especially really nice collections and people are desperate to get out. You can get some really nice stuff. You have to be really selective and you have to have the time, the energy, the available brain power to discern what the values of those could be, especially in a recession. You have to be willing to feed those while you wait for the right customer to come along, because it's not the same quick pace market as when I was doing it. Because when I was doing it, you put up those breeder females and they went like hotcakes because all of the baby boomers were trying to fill out their breeders. And so the temperature's a little different, but I still think you could absolutely get snakes for free. It's the Bob Vu method of acquiring expensive animals for free, basically. And so that's how I got started. And that's also how I funded some of my more expensive snakes, is by buying big collections. So I don't regret it at all, but I don't have the money or the time anymore to do it. And so it's not something I'll be looking at doing right now, because I don't have the money or the time or the rat supply, because bumping up my rat production costs me more time. And I have very little time right now. And I'm going into my next semester of school where I'm going to be having very high level classes that scare the shit out of me. And so I'm just really happy with where I'm at right now, numbers wise and goals wise. I want to do like 15-ish clutches. This year I had 25, and it was too many with school. So I'm really happy, but people who want to do that, if you do it intelligently, if you do it with the expectation of having it separate from your main collection and biosecurity and testing and the ability to feed those animals while you wait for the right customer, then you absolutely can come out way on top. But it just takes the right kind of person with the right understanding of the market and biosecurity and all of that to be able to make it a successful thing. I have zero regrets. Even though all those heads didn't turn out, I still didn't pay for those snakes. You know what I mean? Like, if I even pay $100, that's just going to go towards what I fed them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still in the green, even feeding them for a year. So I mean, like,
Billy's might be bringing back the Monday podcast.
Oh, that would be awesome, Billy.
Except he says it'll be an hour.
He always says this was always. Yeah, no offense, Billy. We love you, but you don't know how to talk for just an hour. So unless you're going to like program it to cut you off, just automatically delete the link once you're hit an hour. With that, I listen to every one of your podcasts, but you also have to think about how much not doing it has helped you in a positive manner versus if you start doing it again, where's the positive return on that? So we would rather see less of Billy, but a happier Billy than you overwork yourself again. So just make sure you're taking care of yourself. But if you start it up, of course, we're all going to be tuning in.
Equaline came in.
Hi.
Powerhouse agrees. Accidentally 3 hours. Given his like apology, I'm not doing the podcast anymore. Short video
it was like 4 hours.
He's like, it's not going to take that long, I swear. Yeah, it's fine. I think that's charming in its own way. All right, Jana, what did we miss? You moved into your building,
right? So a year ago, right now, we were spray foaming, and I was talking about how it was too cold to seal the building. And somehow I went the entire summer not having remembered that we didn't seal the building in the winter because it was too cold. Because you have to be at certain temperatures, and the concrete was at like 30 all winter. And so then I guess, I was getting divorced and forgot that we hadn't sealed the building, and we got all that snow and rain. And I went out there and I had Christmas presents hidden out there. Hopefully my kid's not listening. And water across the floor. which is fine because all the electrical's above that, and it wasn't like standing water; it was just wet.
Yeah, cement. It is porous, so it can breathe.
Correct. Well, and it didn't. The outside isn't sealed, so the water is just like running under the wall. So, note to self: in 3 months, when it heats back up, I definitely need to seal the building. But we are in the building. I am still working out where I want everything and trying to work out like how I'm comfortable, but I absolutely love it. It holds temperature really well. I need to work on the humidity because it dries out the cocoa really fast out there because I've got the heat pump running and stuff. So I don't know if maybe I'll do a humidifier because in my house,
if you don't seal the floor, you can just
use that moisture. Yeah. Because in my house, the humidity in my snake room was always like 60, but the humidity out in my building is like 30, which is crazy to me. So that's the only thing I'm fighting right now is low humidity in the building. I obviously fixed the tubs, so they're correct.
Because there's new people here. It was a prefab corrugated steel garage, correct? Like explain what it was.
So it was
very quickly,
not prefab. It was they build on location for you, a metal kit garage with an attached carport. So the biggest I could have without a permit was 200 square feet. So it's 16 by 12. And we spray foamed it because we're in Washington. And if you don't spray foam the metal buildings, they literally will rain on the inside. Although with ball pythons, maybe I should have done that. Maybe that would have helped the humidity. And they'll literally like the buildings will rain on the inside if you don't spray foam them. So we spray foam them and then we built the interior frame with the 4 inches. So it's actually got 6 inches of insulation. And then I moved out there October-ish, and I'm still like getting comfortable out there, setting things up how I want. And I still need a sink. I keep waffling back and forth on which kind of sink I want. So that's the only reason I don't have it. I have all the plumbing ready to go. I just have to pick one.
I simp for sinks. Yeah, I am almost like one like 3 sinks. Even though that would.
I should have just planned a whole wall of sinks. I don't know why. I left myself.
Women love sinks. Everybody.
36 inches is all I left myself, and I'm like, size matters. What was I thinking?
Yeah, like I have a sink,
so mad.
And then I have a place to air dry, and then a place to F10, and then a place to wash and air dry a second time after they've been F10, and then a storage for like wash tubs or stuff that is dry and now can be stacked. So they're like, there's like a workflow of tub and whatever prep that sort of, it takes up a lot of space, but it has to happen somewhere.
Yeah, so I'm still figuring that out. But I love the space. I love how it's coming together. Eventually, when I get it figured all out and set up and cleaned up, I will do a tour for you guys. I do not podcast from my snake shed. We tried it, and the road noise, because I live on a very busy street, we didn't realize it would be so loud, because that was the original plan, is to move my podcasting out there. But guys, it was bad. Jessica's like, I can't even fucking hear you. So maybe if you want to hear less of Jana and more of Jessica, then I could definitely podcast from there.
Just stand under a truck as it's running
the whole time.
Jana is not satisfied by 36 inches.
Not satisfied. Sorry.
Nor else pythons.
No, I need more inches, I guess. So
let's go to double hets. Did you not make as many as you wanted?
So I did not make as many as I wanted. I had one G-stripe clown clutch reabsorb, and my other one didn't go. And my third one, who did go, the female came out kinked and died. And
the only female in the clutch?
The only female in the clutch. And then the other 4 were beautiful males that I have no use for. And
that's why the double het game is interesting.
It's
because
hard,
like
guys.
You're also like doing the odds of female too hard.
Yeah, you're doing the odds of will they go and the odds of will you get a female. And so I did not get any in that department. And then
real quick, Shane says size matters. My wife said it doesn't. Sad cry face.
Oh, your wife says, maybe is different and it doesn't matter.
Courtney says the same to me, Shane friend.
Yeah,
there's a lot of commiseration.
They're telling the truth, guys. It's okay. It's just a Jana thing. I mean, you got to listen to your wife. They're always right, and it's okay. Okay, this is just a Jana specific size matters. So do with that.
Listen, you don't. The size doesn't matter if you're a bottom. Is what I'm saying.
It's not the size; it's how you use it.
Or you're a bottom. Anyway, let's keep it on track.
I'm actually a switch, so thanks for that. Wait, does that make me your bottom?
Yeah.
Is that what we always fight? Because I'm trying to fight for like.
Yeah, you can't be top.
Okay, that's cool.
Sorry.
Anyway,
so okay, wait. We don't have time to even go through our goals. So you did super gravels.
Well, it's not my fault. You made a PowerPoint presentation, sister.
Listen, it was much better than our goals.
It was much better. I agree.
Yes. We just want to hit the highlights here.
Right. So I have a question.
Okay.
Can you say the word?
Yeah, I've said it since then.
Okay, well, say it for me.
It's Spokane.
Spokane. In our last year's thing, she said Spokane, and it made me giggle.
Listen.
I just needed to bring it up.
Okay.
No one else cares. Anyway, so my double het game sucked ass, and I have goals to continue to suck ass next year and try again. I had wanted to purchase a clown pied male this year and a G-stripe clown male and some kind of cypress female. I did purchase a clown pied. I did not purchase a G-stripe. I got a divorce instead. And then I ended up buying an acid clown because I felt like that was more intelligent move forward for both my projects, because I am in clown pied and genetic stripe clown, and an acid clown can play into both of those. And I just felt like it was a stronger move rather than a one gene,
a straight double.
Yeah, or a straight double. So for me, that made more sense, and it was a little cheaper. And I sold some stuff to make that happen because I divorced Daddy Warbucks. So all in all, the season did not go how I expected. My holdback rack is extremely sad. But this was the season, 2023 was always going to be my season. So I hope that it lives up to that hype. But I have a lot of stuff that's mature enough, and we'll see what happens. But I mean, you got to roll the dice and see where you end up. And this year I rolled the dice, and I'm not unhappy with the year that I had. I just didn't get all the things that I wanted.
It's better than the year before.
It was way better than the year before. So grateful.
So mindfulness.
I wanted to hit a sugar clown. I did.
Have you sold him, or is he still for sale?
He's still for sale, and he actually moved to my holdback rack, and I'm going to take him down and keep him.
All right. Yeah, he's fun. Even if he's not going to take that many females from your future or whatever.
No, I think I'll just have him in a backup position, or give him one or two girls in the future.
Bottom position.
Right. Yeah. Bottom. And so, I mean, there's nothing wrong.
Cute. He's really obviously sugar.
He's such a nice
So he's not like a power or whatever, but a backup male with an interesting incomplete dominant gene is a fine holdback for a year or two in case somebody's peens fall off or they lose their mind.
For sure. So he's definitely going to stick around. And he was my big goal snake, but my goals have changed. I mean, that you evolve and you think differently, and you actually start listening to people's good advice. And you evolve and change and grow, and situations change, and you try to make smarter business choices. And
I should have done the price for a calico clown.
Yeah, you should have. Reagan said I should put the acid clown to a G-stripe. So he is currently 250 grams. He's 6 months old. He was born in June. So if he gets up, he's a great eater too. So he has already taken 3 rats from me. And I think he's going to have no problem getting up to size. We'll just see if he likes the ladies. But if he does, and these girls aren't ready yet to go, I have my pastel clown pied female that I was planning to breed share with Stone Age. But if she doesn't start developing until May, June, then I may keep her for the acid.
I have a question. How are you doing that since is he sending you his? I'm assuming you're sending the female to him.
I would send the female to him, yes.
Right, but you would not do it until she has follicles?
But
which she might have reabsorbed just being moved.
So I was gonna send her in January, but now that I've got the acid clown, I'm rethinking that, because if she's not gonna go till later in the season, it makes more sense to me to put the acid clown to her.
Yeah, it's more interesting.
Yeah, and so I might just do that instead. I also have a super pastel yellow belly G stripe that I can put him to her, and I have super pastel clown. I mean, I have a bunch of crap that I could throw his way, but I don't want to overload the poor guy. So we'll just have to see how follicles go this season and how his eating goes, and if he's even interested in locking. So he'll definitely, if he gets to size, he'll definitely have some kind of clown or clown pied female and some kind of G-stripe female. And if he's a stud muffin and he's locking and he's eating, then I have a shit ton of stuff that I can add, but I probably wouldn't ever give him more than 4 because he's a baby and that's pushing it for a new guy. So we'll see if he's going to slide in there at 30 and lock with girls and be a stud muffin. We'll see what he does, but he may not even like the ladies. He may hide and cry in the corner. So you can't bank on that, but that is currently the plan, is that it looks like I'm going to have a late season. So I think he's going to be able to participate if he's willing to play ball. So that's exciting.
Oh, keep it moving. Let's do
divorce is a way better investment. I agree wholeheartedly.
What do you want to buy this year?
I made
ball python wise. Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Purchase goals. I really, 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 really want to add Cypress. Some kind of Cypress clown, Cypress G-stripes, something, a female, something of that genre or flavor.
I have an exciting snake in the news.
Oh, okay. Well, look forward to that. And then I need to, because I did really shitty in the holdback realm, I need to take a good stock of what I have and what I want to do in the future. And I think I need to be looking at using my funds that I make this year at buying some really high-end females.
Thanks for coming by, Billy.
Thank you, Billy.
And everybody else. We're sort of wrapping up here anyway. We're getting into the news here in a second. Yeah, Cypress is hot. If you want him to know what my stock picks, Cypress all day.
Cypress all day.
Cypress het puzzle, Cypress het tri-stripe, which I don't even think exists. Like anything like that. That's what I would be breeding because it adds color, flair without changing too much, but it's very dramatic.
Yeah.
It has a wobble super, but fuck it, we don't need that shit. It's a lilac with spot nose chocolate Wookie. So its combos with those are really crazy. So
and I'd really like that to see what that's going to do in Kiki and Clown Pied. So
yeah, like the Cypress spot nose in general is fucking awesome as it is, and it's lilac, so it's a very reactive, nice clown. So it'll make a nice puzzle. It'll make a nice everything. Kiki, tri-stripe, whatever.
Right. So, yeah, I'm all about that.
Stonks.
Yeah, I have
bye.
I have Bongo, I have Acid, and the only one on that list is Cypress. Although Wookie is up there in the should have list, but I have wanted Cypress for longer. But the Bongo and the Acid were both on my list too, and I did get that last year. So or it's still last year, but you know what I mean. But I am dying to have Cypress in my collection.
Soon. Very soon. Like the Cypress TG on Morph Market right now is chef's kiss.
All right.
I don't like ball pythons, so I'm not talking about them. I'm going to talk about corn snakes. I moved, so it like fucked a lot of things up. I have a real feeling to share with you. There are some number of corn snakes missing in this house right now. Like when I was unloading or something, there are at least 15 corn snakes missing in this house, which all probably escaped.
That's a record for you.
An all-time high.
Usually it's like 1 or 2.
I was going through my spreadsheet. I'm like, the number of animals I currently possess is significantly different than the number of animals
that I
once possessed. Right.
No, are these babies or adults?
Little baby corn snakes.
Okay, that's understandable. Like, I don't know how you guys keep track of the little worms.
And I was like, holy ballsack. This is a mistake. Mistakes have been made. Yeah, yes. Holy shit, 15 is correct. It was a large number. It was almost all of one of my Miami, like her whole clutch. Like they were in a thing and like a bunch of them escaped. The cat found a bunch. They didn't make it through that. But moving is hard, I think, is my problem.
I mean, when you have 300 snakes, 15 is really not that many, guys.
I have more than 300 now.
Oh, she refuses to give us a real number. It's probably like
I don't
500.
know anymore because Husband Pro is like, fuck you. You can't have this many snakes. you rate your subscription limit. I'm like, I guess I don't have that many snakes then. Whoopsie. No, the it's just like one clutch that was like in a bin that was like a temporary holding bin as they got split out and they like all escaped overnight. And now
I get it. Yeah, the whole clutch was together still when you moved.
Yes, very unfortunate.
And it was a one clutch accident. She didn't like let go 15 snakes.
No, that would be.
She moved clutches that had just hatched all in one bin because they were
eggs too. By the way, corn snake eggs and ball python eggs can move without an incubator or controlled, and they're fine. They just hatch.
Yeah. So you guys, it was not 15 errors. It was one box that they all were like, freedom.
And Chris is like, is this weird that there's a steak? And I'm like, fuck. And there's just like 1,000 spaghettis. And then in the end, I think about 15-ish or something were unaccounted for or the cat got. Dang it. I just...
You could release the king snake and she'll go clean up the mess. It's fine.
And then... So like the move made it so that like multiple ball pythons absorb 30 millimeter plus follicles. So that is obviously a thing. Like they can get that far and still give up. They obviously hadn't ovulated because they couldn't have done it then.
I had a couple of girls that were at like 30 when I pushed them out into the building. And they were like, fuck you, motherfucker. Because I'm like, oh, it's certain they're going to go. No big deal. Push. Right. And then all of a sudden they were like, nope. So none of the girls that were like, I'm like, oh, they're good to go because they're already like 30, 32. They're like, you're just like, they're guaranteed to go, right?
They're not guaranteed, everybody.
Not a single one of those girls meant I should not have moved them at all.
Like I physically that's a lot. And you didn't have to move them.
No, at all.
Right.
No, there was zero reason to move them. I could have left them in there indefinitely. They were fine where they were at, but I just was... let's move the whole ARS rack. And it's not like I don't have 50 other kinds of racks that I could have put them in.
Right. Just as for the time being or whatever.
Nope. I just roll all that shit out there, happy as can be. And they were like, bitch, please, no eggs for you. So that's what happened to a couple of my double hets that were really important. I moved them like a rookie.
God,
they were like super important clutches, like 2 G-stripe clown clutches and the hets. And one of them was a clown pied clutch that I was really looking forward to. And then
Jana, why'd you do that?
And then the other one was like a really important pied clutch that I fucked up too. So
yeah. So I know the corn snake market is a little soft this year, but it's still fine. Like I sold some corn snakes a couple days ago over Christmas. People don't think of them as like the prestige thing, but I'm telling you, they are the prestige thing. So I'm going to keep tooting their little horns. Because they're like blue and red. Okay. They're not really blue. They're gray. But that sort of effect on like a happy little snake that likes to run around and do stuff and is cute.
They are pretty dang cute.
And easy to take care of, whatever. So like.
As long as you don't lose them.
Don't lose them. It's more of a problem when they're little.
I have a bad problem losing tiny snakes.
Yeah, you have bad luck in general with tiny snakes. I mean, you already did it publicly, so
that's all right. We don't need to bring it up. It's fine.
Okay.
Luke, hello.
Hey, yeah. And then the boas. A lot of them, the best litters did not go last year, but they are going this year. So I have an ovulation on deck.
So VIP IMG?
Right. And then
I am really looking forward to that.
BPI Snow Glow.
Okay.
So Anery type 1 though.
That means almost nothing to me, even though it should mean something since you've educated me several
We've
times.
done it twice now.
I'll catch the replay on that. Sorry, Jessica. My brain will not hold that information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I want to see like the boa price market has done very similar things to the ball python one, with certain things being more exaggerated than other. But in the boa world, it was mostly like rare localities that had the best price boost. So it wasn't like sought after morphs per se, but locality that are rare. So there's always a different way to like ride the waves, like have a percentage of rare things, a percentage of morph things, and then a percentage of pet things. So each of those things will rise and fall as the market corrects. So that's why like I'm happy to have corn snakes, boas, and ball pythons, because I can bring a different class of thing.
Absolutely, like different variety. Right.
Yeah, like
Hi, Stone Age. Hi, Justin.
I think my corn prices were too high at the last show because I just
for your location.
For my location. So I'm just gonna go in there, not with like wholesale pricing, but like $60 to $40.
Yeah, you have to change for the market that you're in. So I mean, you didn't really know.
Also, there was no other corn snake vendors there, so who knows what the normal price is?
Right.
For now. Listen, Sean Bradley, you're gonna get spanked here in a second. So yeah, I guess that's an old morph, but like, I don't know what you want from me. The stuff that I want to breed in boas doesn't exist anymore. All of the boas that I want, they're either dead or gone. So the boas that existed in 2002 are missing. So I just have basic morph stuff.
Hi, Alex. Also, Bullshit is recruiting people for his show in our chat. Is that even allowed? Come on. No. I'm just teasing. Go ahead. She's gonna deal with her son for a minute. So what are we talking about? Cheese in the chat, guys? I missed some of that. Jessica works with Miami a lot. Jessica, what are your big breedings for the year?
I'm back. My child is busy. What'd you say?
What are your big breeding pairs, morphs and stuff for this year? I said Miami, but what else?
So Miami Okati to like the new LBR Miami Tessera, that's like redder with less neck yellowing. So the baby should be better. I haven't like revealed the current set of babies, but they definitely have dad's like neck yellowing problem. They are like juicy borders. Right, but it's like marginally bad. It's still juicy, but
okay. But you're trying to breed that out.
We're trying to be perfect, Jana. Not perfect. Suboptimal. Okay. And then we should have lava shatter stuff. A bunch of it.
I love that shatter.
And then shatter other stuff, which is so vague. But I just like shatter in general. But the caramel shatters that are like really dark, where the saddle is very distinctly like almost like black on like a very pale gray. It's like I like the color ones too, but I also like the dark ones. So like, well, we might have both of those, and then the females get big. And then we should have more visual silver leaves, which are Slowinski eye mutation, that are with a different dad, because all the babies were kinked tails. Remember that? Does everybody remember that? What bullshit was that?
So you were like, bye-bye, daddy.
Yeah.
Also, these balls, if I wasn't out of state, I would be at your house for dinner. That sounds delicious.
I don't know what we can do for corn, Sean. I think without Joe like actively massaging people into getting into them, like there's like a problem. But I don't know how to convince people like your first pet should be like a wiggly worm, because that's a hard sell. If it was a 6-month-old corn snake.
Yes, I agree. Like when we were researching for my daughter a ball python or a corn snakes are hardier and less likely to get dehydrated into crispy nothings. Corn snakes are a little hardier and easier to take care of. But she was freaked out by like the of a corn snake. Whereas you can set a ball python in her hand and she's like, I can handle this. So there is that like 6-month lead time. Who wants to feed it for 6 months? I mean, is that just what it's going to be expected? Because that cuts into your price of snake, doesn't it? Price of production.
I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be 6 months. It just has to be something eating like a large pink or a peach fuzz. So like if you fed them really fast, they could get there in 4 months or something. You know what I mean? Like when they're like thicker and you're like, oh, I might not like accidentally. But I don't know. It's like the ball pythons are a unique position that they're like small but fat, so they like seem sturdier.
Well, and they're slow moving
type, right? But they're kind of ugly and they don't grow up that nice. And I like them. Jana. I'm just saying, for like a first pet, someone gets their first pet, they could get a Miami corn snake, and it could be blue and red for the rest of its life when it grows up.
Oh, don't get her started on palmettos. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, don't do it. Please don't do it, Jessica. Move on. It's okay. Lindsay said that she just got her kid a hognose. I just got my kid a hognose, and for some reason they're chunkier than a corn snake and they move slower than a corn snake. And so she doesn't have it. She also has a lot more experience now, but she doesn't have as much trouble with a tiny hognose as she does with a tiny corn. And now, like, she's older and she has more experience, so she can.
I think she could still have a tiny corn.
She can do it now for sure, and it doesn't like totally intimidate her. It's just she tends to have issues with anxiety, and so this very fast moving, she's like, I'm gonna lose it, and she gets really worried about it, and so it's not a benefit to her. But for some kids, like, that's really exciting and the perfect snake for them. So I always tell people who are looking at both, make sure you hold both.
Well, some baby corns aren't wiggly even from birth.
Oh,
like it just depends on the corn personality, like the genetic makeup of the clutch. Like I have a Miami test where all of her babies came out and are like, whatever, I just don't care. None of them were just born that way. I should probably breed all of them.
Yeah, you should. Yes.
And I have some, they're little like firecrackers, and they usually just figure it out one day that they shouldn't be evil.
What about rat snakes and your other Noah's Ark stuff? Anything big enough to breed this year that you haven't bred before?
No, the Shenreki is still too small.
Okay.
I've been looking for Diones all year, Sean.
Oh, you never got any, or did you have to?
None.
What ones did you have to? What ones did you have to euthanize because they were iffy?
Shenreki, Russians, just normal Russians.
The Russians, okay.
There have been Russians all year, but I want Diones because Russians are big. They deserve a big
display.
Cage.
Yeah, like your
or whatever.
Rats,
just like
Japanese
Jap rats. So I did buy another unrelated pair of Jap rats, and I bought a pair of.
Oh, you have 2 pairs now? Wait, are they babies or are they adults?
Just babies.
And then you held some back too?
Held up one back. So I'm just going to have a Japanese army.
How many?
Everything changed when the Japanese
number.
attacked.
Give us the female male ratio that you have
2,
now.
3.
2, 3, okay.
I almost bought more from Tim Spuckler, but then they sold. Just like more babies, so you can have more pairs.
Right.
Yeah.
Because don't you want like one more female?
I want 100. I don't know what you're talking about.
I just mean like 2.4, or do you want like 2.8, or what's your ratio that you're looking to have?
1 million.
1 million.
Mm-hmm. I would like patternless. I would like something that looks axanthic, because sometimes they come out that way. And just to test it. And I want the hypo type, because I think someone could put it in their pants and get it out of Japan and get it into Germany, and then I could buy it. So that's what I want. Whose pants are ready to receive Japanese rat snakes? Are yours?
Not quite yet. No, not big enough. And I also like the Mandarin rats a lot.
Oh, did you see the Zirkles posted that they had like a pipe bust and then the water sprinkled down on their Mandarin rat snake colony, and they electrocuted everybody?
That was horrible. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for you guys. I just really felt for you. Lindsay,
not Jap cave rats, Chlamydophora, Japanese rat snakes.
Yeah, he understood that, but none of us did. Lindsay, can they even open their mouths wide enough? Are you talking about corn snakes, or are you talking about?
Yeah, but it's cute. It doesn't
Yeah,
count.
no. So I've held a corn snake and it can lay its mouth open and flat on your hands trying to bite you, but it literally doesn't even feel like Velcro. It feels like nothing, and it makes you laugh your ass off. It is what sold me on corn snakes finally, is I held one and it was literally like open mouth, like tail twitching, like, I'm gonna eat you. And then it was like, oh, you're not trying to eat me. Oh, I'm fine. We're friends now. Hi. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I love you forever. It was the cutest thing I've ever experienced with a snake.
Yeah. And you see that snake, that corn snake on Instagram? It was celebrating his 25th like snake miss day, because that was the day he was given to his owner. It was so sweet. This
I did
old
not
man,
see that, but it's
25
so sweet.
years. He was a baby that when he was given, but congratulations, buddy, for making it.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was so cute. Shout out. I wish I could remember their name. I should have put it in the news. I commented, but I do want more Diones. There was no Dione inventory this year, period. There was like one teen egg, like mutt locality from, a wholesaler, and some sort of yucky ones on Fauna, but nothing else. There is a whole world of bounty in Germany of different types, localities, morphs for localities, locality specific, this, that. Nothing all year. So whenever everybody's like, no, but there's no market for our Diones. Well, there's no inventory to make a market. If you saw like a solid black snake, a solid red snake, a solid yellow and red striped snake, dots, gray, the crazing pattern. If somebody brought a table like that, you would be like, oh, this is another kind of corn snake, because that variety already exists. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like that price point, size, whatever.
Alex, how old is your corn snake? If she's female, is she like trying to fatten up for breeding season because she's matured and you're not feeding her enough? Sometimes that can make them really cranky and bitey because they're very hungry.
Will asks, is it illegal to export snakes in Japan? So it's illegal to export native snakes from Japan.
Unless you have a Pringles container, then it's totally
pants.
Fine. Or pants, yeah. Scaleless corns. Don't get her started on those either.
Oh, no. My problem is I don't like the stuff that is actually worth money.
Yeah.
Although this year, I don't know if he did it or not, but Steve Roylance hypothetically sold a persimmon combo for $1,200. So that's more than a palmetto.
Yeah. Alex, you might want to up what you're feeding her, size or distance apart. She might just need some more food.
Jessica? I don't know. Some of them are dumb. I've seen them eat like a king snake.
Oh, okay.
Just objects, your neighbor, whatever.
But he said she wasn't like that before. She just like changed overnight.
Maybe lubricate yourself up like the king snake people do with sanitizer, and just like break the like 3 neurons that are firing every time they get out to think that they should be eating. So like if you smell like sanitizer, you wouldn't smell like anything else. And then it'll like reformat her tiny brain.
Yeah, teenager angst and all the food. Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Jessica's saying sanitizer could, they don't want that in their mouth. So she might bite you a few times and be like, oh.
Yeah, if you have Rosies or Kings, you have to do that anyway. Like that's just like part of it. So
I never tried that. I should try that. I usually just use a hook and get them out. And then once they've like tried to eat the hook, then they're like, oh, I'm out. Hey, what's going on, guys?
Fuck you. We're going to fight right now.
They're penis snakes. So maybe you're just really into the penis snake.
My problem is that they, while otherwise totally viable and fine, they don't look attractive to me. Okay. They look a little like a little penis. Little shriveled up penis, and with a mouth and eyes. So like, is that a good thing? Should we be promoting that? We'll see what he has to say.
I would rather see a scaleless corn snake than a scaleless ball python any day of the week. I'm just saying. I love how Corey Martin in her Chris Eaton episode, she's like, yeah, I accidentally produced 3 scalelesses, and Chris laughed and he was like, yeah, and what are you doing with those? And she was like, I gave them away. Because when I came in as a baby boomer, scaleless was the thing. And I was like, ew, like I just didn't get it. And then of course that market just died. if you don't know that story, I'm not going to tell it. You go do your own research. But so
we
to
should
hear her be
ask
like,
Sean what he thinks about it now. I don't know if I know he said it's like he thought it was cool.
he was really into it, right? Before he left. Oh, that's funny. This was not directed at you. I just thought it was funny that she said, "Oh, and I gave them away," because they were going for like 50,000 or something insane,
or more,
or more. And they were like the epitome of ball python breeding. When I came in, and I was just like, "It's a penis."
It could have been, right? I think if it had been more viable,
more hardy,
people would have been like, some people are into it and some people aren't, just like with scaleless corn snakes.
Yeah, I'm not into either. I just think that it was a bad idea all the way around for ball pythons.
I think it has very high contrast and like weird colors, which I think can be very interesting. But I just, without like, especially like the labial scales, their faces look so strange that I'm not that into it. And I like snakes that look mostly like a snake still.
Eileen with Bravo Zulu says the elephant trunk snakes are cute AF, and I agree. They are pretty cute. They're really shy though, aren't they?
Yeah, and they also are aquatic reptiles, so it's the same problem as like turtles. Like, is
they're
that
aquatic?
Fun? Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought they were like more like green tree pythons.
Are we talking about the same animals?
Everybody assume Jana's wrong.
Oh, brother. Okay. I don't have any more goals. I mean, maybe we'll do a table at Arlington one day. We have to get a table first as a podcast. Let's just finish it up there.
Yeah. Wait, is that your goal as a podcast?
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Okay. My goal is I'd like to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
I don't know why it's a goal, because that's just like inevitable. It should be more like
no, fuck you. I get to make my own goals.
Okay.
You don't get to tell me what my goals are. Your
Great
goal is a table at Arlington. My goal is to help us hit 1,000.
The table at Arlington is probably like a 2024 goal.
Okay, well, mine is a this year goal, and I'm going to see if I can make that happen this year.
Okay. Sean, do you need to talk about this?
I think he does.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to like.
No, we're not going to get into
it hard.
Nope.
But I've always liked snakes that are mostly snake shaped, no matter what. Okay. Yeah, a table at Arlington could help make the 1,000. Yeah, I think it'd be fun. Maybe it wouldn't be fun. We still have to get Jana there on
the October show.
Not have her pilot
20 offsprings.
Yeah, some flight troubles.
Well, maybe we'll look at that for October, guys. We'll let you know.
Well, we'd have to like suck dick in February. So who's gonna do that? I'm married, Jana.
I volunteer as tribute.
All right, let's do the news real quick. We're at 2 hours. If anybody has any questions while we're doing the news, let's go. Really quickly, did you hear about this? DNA Reptilia posted that he has some sort of potentially a virus moving through his rat colony, and he's like documenting it as it happens. He did a video and then he did a live on Facebook too.
I've seen the posts about it, but I have not watched his videos. So, but I'm aware that it's happening. Yeah.
So if anybody wants to like reach out and say nice things, he's just going through an active biosecurity event, and it makes me sad.
In the rats too.
The rats.
That's crazy.
They're full of viruses and they all like cough and sneeze and shit. So it's like really easy to spread then.
And their dander is just like poof, poof, poof. Oh, everybody infected. Anyway,
right.
Yeah.
He's possibly, thinking that like, because he was being nice to people and euthanizing other people's rats using his equipment, but in his room.
No.
So there was, if that was how it got in, then that just as a reminder, like obviously your rats are animals too. They also have infectious diseases. Some of them could be asymptomatic carriers. Your colony may have never experienced that disease. Quarantined the whole way.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it sucks, but hopefully you get something. You can preserve some of your babies. Jana, did you see this? G-stripe, tri-stripe.
G-stripe, tri-stripe. Why? Why would we do this?
I'm waiting for more reaction.
That's it. Why? Why is this happening right now?
I kind of like it. All right, chat. Who likes the G-stripe, tri-stripe?
It looks like a pinstripe G-stripe.
Yeah, kind of. But look how it's like done these weird little drippy things more in the back.
I just don't think that that's something that should be mixed. But who am I? What do I know?
It's interesting that it fought like in a different way by making pinning. I'm not saying you have to love it, but I think this is interesting because there's something different happening here than any other pattern. This isn't the Kiki, but it is something. Oh, 905 says downvote. I think it actually reminds me of an acid G-stripe.
Oh, that is fair. It does. Yeah. But it's a double recessive. And
right.
I'm not going
did a lot of work.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm not disparaging them. It's not something that's making me hot.
Jana's not hot. Yeah. I wasn't like dying, but I thought it was different than I thought it was going to be. I almost thought it was just going to look like a G-stripe still with no visual indication that there was anything happening, but there is something happening.
Yeah, I wonder what would happen if you did tri-stripe, G-stripe clown.
I don't know. It probably would look like a Kiki mostly. That's my guess.
I don't know.
But I think there's something to work here, though. I wouldn't give up completely. Like, it's not like the G-stripe pie that's just kind of boring or whatever. There's no visual interest.
Luke is saying double recessive should make you hard AF. And that's what I'm trying to say, too. Like, I'm not trying to disparage their effort or crush their dreams. I'm sure there's more they could do with it, but this is not igniting. This is not making me hot.
Mm-hmm.
I may eat my words later, but at this point, that's where I'm at on it.
What about the tri-stripe puzzle?
I didn't like that.
It hasn't been made.
Oh, well, what was the one we saw that I was like, oh, is there another recessive in there that had a different puzzle? No, I don't remember.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Cool. Moving on.
Okay. All right. Last one. What a delight.
That is hot.
So this is Balls to You, a video from 2 weeks ago now. This has been in my thing because I thought it was insane looking. Hold on. I wrote this down. Mojave Spot Nose, Black Pastel Cypress, Yellow Belly. So not het for anything and not visual for anything. But obviously
say the combo again.
Mojave Spot Nose, Black Pastel Cypress, Yellow Belly. So
I'll take 3, please.
Picture of the head. Look at how distinct the head is to the body. He's obviously talking about it.
Wow.
It's so distinct here. It's insane.
Wow.
And the orange is so distinct here. Such a strong line. This is the craziest distinction between head and dorsum I've ever seen.
I love it a lot.
Hopefully the picture makes sense. So everyone should go watch this video and upvotes it.
I don't
say we need 10 more of these.
Yeah. I don't like it, but I want it in my rack. I love that. See, these are the kind of females that I need in my rack.
And she's not het for anything, and if she was, that'd be cool. But like this part,
it doesn't matter. Yeah, she's so awesome. But she doesn't. She don't. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Ooh.
So the Cypress Spot Nose is what's helping that. So if Cypress Spot Nose combo things, very interesting. All right, that's it for news. There wasn't that much news. We were all doing Christmas stuff, having happy holidays. Send me a picture or it didn't happen, Sean Bradley.
Yep, picture it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Could be anything.
Oh, the leopard tri-stripe.
Where?
Bravo Zulu said that's the snake I was trying to tell you about. That didn't look like it had a recessive, but wasn't a double recessive. It just didn't look like it had tri-stripe in it.
I still think it looks like it has tri-stripe in it.
Well, I believe you. I just, to my untrained eye, I didn't think so.
Okay. Yeah. So we're not looking at like sometimes a dramatic change to get us wet, right? We get wet with the possibilities that a change is different than any other change we've seen before.
That may be what gets you wet, but you don't get to decide what makes me wet, Jessica.
Right, that's true. You're right. This is about consent. But I'm saying Justin looked like people were like spot nose clowns were not exciting enough or were boring or too common or whatever to justify whatever. But you're looking at like the 3rd or 4th generation down of the subtle change of the spot nose clown to get to a Pompeii. So you need to look at things that are different in combos you see now to decide if that's an interesting line to take. Not just, is that a cool combo someone's hit? Work towards that.
Right. So that double recessive, cool. But I would rather work with that no recessive from balls to you.
Okay.
That I can get wet about potential over. The other one, it just does not trip my trigger. And like I said, I could be wrong and someone else is going to take the time to prove me wrong and they are welcome to do that. And I look forward to being proven wrong, but it does not at all interest me.
Sometimes the evidence does need to be deleted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Lisa thinks none of them make her that excited. And sometimes I think that's right. Like sometimes the double is less than the sum of its parts in general. Like, you know, I like Cloud, but it does suck the living daylights out of color on adults. And then as they get older. So even the non-clown version of that combo would be nicer colored in terms of like saturation than the clown version. Like no offense, Blackhead. The Blackhead Mojave to me is a better color, much better color than the Blackhead Mojave clown adult. Like side by side, the two adults. The regular one is better. Ugh, it hurts me. So like the ones that don't affect color as much, Puzzle and Tri-Stripe would make for better Blackhead Mojave combos than the clown one, unfortunately. To me, that's my opinion. Please don't sue me, Blackhead police and clown police. Please. This does not count as financial advice. Please, I have no fiduciary duty to you also. And don't trust
no
me
duty,
in a dark
no
alley.
liability, all the things.
Also not a vet. All right, that's it, Jana. I think we did it. It's been 2 hours. Thank you, everyone, for coming. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you all for coming.
I don't know I kind of know what the topic is because we're announcing our sponsor lineup
for 2023.
For 2023. Maybe we'll have one on. Maybe I don't know. The scheduling is weird right now, but at least it'll be rolling out the new sponsor lineup
for the year. Yeah.
Anything else, Jana?
That's it. We'll see you guys next week.
Excellent. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for an awesome year. If you haven't, please subscribe, like, comment, all the things, and we will see you.
Everybody buy a corn snake.
Bye.
Forever. Oh, hey. Also, send me your requests for pricing.
Oh, right. If you need a graph
on Instagram,
send her to her.
Mm-hmm. Right now, we're going to say bye. Bye.
Yeah. Okay. Bye. 30 million